Hello everybody, let's see it another episode of Broken Card of Hearthstone. So today we doing Warlock, I mean Shaman, Warlock, and Warrior. And no neutral cards I do probably next time. But yeah, so let's go. Let's don't hesitate and let's go. So we have Evolve, Prime Charms. Uh, I think they are not necessarily broken. They are good cards. Eternal Sentinel. Okay, this is another broken card because this card again kinda defeat purpose of overload effect. I mean, yeah, you can play some strong effect for relatively low price, but the downside is overload. This card, similar to there's actually another card which is doing this, but it's not old god. Uh, this card effectively defeat purpose of overload. So why is this mechanic in the first place? I mean that makes no sense. Uh, then we have this card, and this card is disgustingly overpowered. Like yeah, you have overload too, but the problem is that overload is basically a replacement for one crystal, and typical card have like 1 point of damage and a hit point per crystal, which means total price of this card is technically 6, except you have like 4 immediately and 2 and another next time. So my question is, since when it's 2 plus 4 equals 7? I mean, there is few cards which have really huge stats, but don't you think this is a little too much? I think it is because if you can in round four cast 7/7 cards, that is some serious boost. I mean, yeah, technically you can like pay it in the next round, but that's the thing. With this card, you get so much value. Even if in next round you can play like less card, then you still have this card, and if you even have like if you combine this card with the discard, then you can summon some ridiculous value. Imagine like if you are in round 10, then what you can do is like you can use burn your all mana, but you can do like discard twice, and after that you can discard, so you get two 7/7 card, one discard, and with no any consequences. Like no drawback, no downside, nothing. And on top of that, all these cards have really good stats. Is this how like fair play look like? I don't think so. So yeah, this card is definitely very overpowered, very overpowered and very broken. And when it's combined with this one, it's even more overpowered. Okay, so what next? What next? We have uh, we have this card. This card is totally really overpowered. This card had not only really good stats, but on top of that have really strong bottle guy. I mean, yeah, you there's some no, there's no problem. I mean, it is randomly change card, but still it is a little too much. It's overpowered and it's not fair. Then we have this card. I think this card is a little overpowered. But yeah, it is a little overpowered. It's there are some cards which are worse, but still it's overpowered. Then we have this thing which mm, That's like the elemental is like worth of 3 crystals, which mean you can summon basically value of this card itself. It's like 2 durability, 4 damage for basically 2 crystals, and I think that is a little too much. Overpowered. And we have this card is okay. So what next? Okay. Mm, this I think this card is like a little broken because value of this card is. I mean, you sacrifice some. I mean, if here's the thing, if you have empty hand and this card is only card in your hand, then this card can be great and not necessarily overpowered. But if you do have cards in this card in your hand, then this card is really broken. Then we have this card which is also really broken. Keep in mind, I know I say this and I say it again, broken and overpowered, it's not necessarily the same thing. I really don't think this is the same. So this card totally is broken because first, I think it's a little too strong, and second, what make it really broken is the fact you basically get cards and hero powers from a random class, and you get totally random cards, and you even don't know which card are in your deck. I mean, yes, they cost 1 less than normal, which is nice, I guess. But at the same time, you really don't know what card you have. You really don't know what to expect. I think this is little too dangerous. I mean, in certain circumstances, this card can be actually good. Like there was this one Town Brawl, which you have only 2 cards, but at the same time, I don't know. I think this card is a. I mean, have all basically having all cards in your deck. 1 card less. It's a little too strong for 2 mana. Even if another price which you need to pay for it is a fact too, is these cards are totally randomized. I mean, it's a nice having like with the 1 less, but this card basically defeat of the purpose of even trying like make your deck. Why do you even trying for a deck if you know you get a random cards anyway? Basically, after you play this card, then all work which you did in order to deck your deck be playable is basically useless. So I think this card is very broken, and even with the less reduced price of all cards in deck to one, even then I think it's not worth it. There are some people who can disagree with me, but hell, this is my video, so I just saying how I think. Okay, this card is. This card is very broken. This card is very broken because, I mean, yeah, it is strong, and its nature doesn't mean it's necessarily overpowered, but the problem is how incredibly unpredictable this spell is. I mean, you can do technically lots of damage, but think about it. damage is split random among all characters, which mean including your hero. Which mean based on the law of probability, you take at least half of this damage. In a situation where your enemy have a lot of minions on the board, then you can basically make sure he probably take most of the hit. But even then, they are completely randomized. So yeah, this spell is seems to be strong and useful, but it's extremely unpredictable. Yeah, sorry about noses. I'm a little sick. Okay, so yeah, this card definitely is broken. Okay, as I said before, cartoon cards are generally overpowered, so I don't want to repeat myself. Then we have a discard, which this card is. I really don't know. I really don't know about this card. I mean, it seems to be a little broken, but at the same time, it's it's kinda not because even if this card seems to be really broken in some situation, it can be in some very specific situation. This card can be absolutely devastating. Like if you have some, let's say you're losing the game and your enemy is like crushing you really badly, and you do something to defend itself, but it's not enough because you are low on the crystals. With if you play this card and after this card some powerful spell, then you can add some really strong value for price just hurt yourself. But at the same time, you can like get like cause some serious damage or summon some really powerful effect. And it's this card is not necessarily broken. It's just very situational, and in some situation, for example, when it's combined with how is the name the demon where is he? I don't remember his name. Let's see. Oh, no, Naganis. So I guess when it's used, when you combine it with this spell, I guess that's probably. I don't know if your hero is immune. I don't know if this is classified. If these two like affect each other. If they do, then this card can be really good. So no, I don't think this card is not overpowered. It's just very situational, and if you are able to plan carefully, this card can be great value. And then we have this card, which uh, uh, it's yeah. I think this card is overpowered. I mean, yeah, you destroy your minions as well. That is true. But the same time, here's the thing. Imagine like situation where you losing the game and you are beaten pretty bad and enemies minions are everywhere and your hand is empty. And because you take too much damage, then you really don't want to use your warlock power to summon more cards because if you do, you take even more damage. So if you don't have any cards in the board and then play this card, then you annihilate all minions, and because you don't have anything in the board, then it's affect only enemies. But at the same time, you draw out lots of cards, which mean this card is on one side really situational, but at the same time, I think it's really overpowered. So Yeah. So that is Warlock. So let's move the Warrior. And oh, Warrior have actually a lot of cards. More than I remember. Okay. First we have this card, which yeah, I think this card is overpowered. Whoa! Yeah, yeah, it is overpowered. I mean, the condition like your attacker must survive in order like summon to do slime is really easy to do, especially because it's do just 1 point of damage. You can always give it like hero, and you have basically you can basically use this against hero because I don't think there's like a restriction. It don't necessarily say. Oh yes, I'm wrong actually. I missed this. I missed wrong minion. Okay, so yeah, but I still think it's for one crystal. It's a little too much. Definitely. This card is okay. This card is. I guess it's also okay. We have this. I think this card is little. Oh no, this card is actually overpowered. Because for price this card you get some really serious value here. And, oh, this card is overpowered. Then we have this card which, well, I say many times what I think about spells which do damage both you and minions. However, in case of warrior, this card can be actually useful because he has many minions who get bonus or damage or something when they get hurt, like this one is, for example, enraged. So it's actually can like this is like warrior is kind of exception. He's like only class which you can actually profit when his minions are damaged, or at least most of these warriors. This card is okay. This card is seriously broken. Again, I remind, broken isn't mean overpowered. What makes this card broken is the fact this card is really, really weak. And it means it's cost way too much. I mean, yeah, this card is basically indestructible because it's every time returned in your hand, which is nice, but the problem here is with the fact how super high cost this card is. It is like similar to a hunter card adventure hat, which do something similar, except this card have like additional price like one crystal. This card have three. I think it's for ability always return in your hand. It's way too overpriced. I know most of the cards which I complaining here, it's I usually my problem is they're overpowered. This one have opposite problem. This one is way too weak. Way too weak. It's not worth it this card. Not at all. I mean yeah, if you wanna be sure you always have some weapon in your hand, then it can be actually good because you never run of the cards. You always have a weapon to use, which is nice. But at the same time, I don't think it's worth it. It's just too pricey. I mean, if they like increase the durability of this card, it would be like twice as big. That will be something different. But like this, I think this card is way too weak and almost useless. Then we have this card, which I think this card is similar. This card is way too weak. This card is A, weak, and B, unpredictable. No, I don't think this is a good card. It's a little broken because how unpredictable it is. I mean, yeah, you know you get some weapon, but you don't know which weapon. You can get something great, and you can also get something absolutely like bad. Like some really, really weak pointless weapon. Okay, so that is Shaman done, Warlock done, and we are done with the warrior itself. So in the next episode, we covered the neutral card, which there is most of them. So that's definitely be interesting. Or should I do them like right now? Actually, but there's not as much of them. You know what? I wanna do this right now. I just changed my mind. So there is this card, which I think this card is okay. This card is not necessarily broken. It's actually a good card. I actually get have used to have this card. I find it in the deck, but at the time I was looking for something else, so I actually recycled and get a bunch of dust. But that's okay. This card is okay. This card is pretty much also okay. Then we have this. Isn't this pretty much like beast version of Magmarager? I don't know. Then we have this card, which is another card which I think it's really broken. Not because I think it's necessarily overpowered, because I think its abilities are fitting for this what this card do. But what makes this card broken is the fact. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. If there is card which is stronger than other cards with the same price, it is usually compensated by some side effect. Like for example, as I already mentioned before, uh, Shaman have a overload effect, but it's something which you pay for only once. This card, however, have permanent downside. So what makes this card broken is the fact this card continuously and long as this card exists, it's all the time helping you opponent, which sucks. So I'm actually surprised. I actually see few people using this card, but I think it's not worth it. Okay, let's move on. We have uh, we have this card, which actually isn't necessarily overpowered, but I think it's still broken. Simply because this restriction of attack. I mean, technically this card can be used only class which have ability to attack. It's a card which can be great for priest. No, I mean druid or a rogue, but for others it's significantly less useful. So yeah, let's move on. We have this is okay. Again, 100. This okay, okay. Uh, okay. Okay. And here's another card which do again helping your enemy. At least it's do this one time. But to be perfectly honest, I don't think it's worth it to have like card which is 6/6 just for 5 crystals. Restore 8. I mean, if you enemy is not too much injured, then it's okay. But if he is, then you can really help him for effect, which is I don't think it's worth it. I think it's little stupid card. Okay, swap that with the friendly minion. Uh, Why you wanna do such a thing? Hmm. Well, well, it's actually can be useful in some situation. Okay, so let's move on. So we have this thing, which is, uh, I think, well, it seems to be similar to like stronger version of Micro Machine, and it's not really weak, but then it's getting really, really lots of power, and yeah, I think this card is overpowered a lot actually. Let's move on. Where this card? And 2 plus 2 plus 2. That's okay, I guess. Okay, I think this card is really overpowered. I mean, not necessarily. This card by itself is overpowered. What make it overpowered is Ancient One. Because Ancient One have value 30, which, I mean, yeah, he's technically constructed with the two of these cards, which can cost together like 18, if I can correctly, which is way too overpowered. And there is even easier way to get this card, so this card is seriously broken. And we have this card, who is actually looks like a good card, but I think its stats are really, really low, so I think this card is a little weak. And we have this card, which is highly overpowered because it has really high stats for relatively low price. And on top of that, it has this death rattle effect, which if you play like for Dragon deck, and you know what kind of decks I usually play, so if I ever create Dragon deck, then this Dragon deck will be probably filled with like so many dragons. On one side, it's good to have like all of dragons for free, basically. But at the same time, no, I think this card is overpowered. Like a seriously overpowered. Even if it has some downside, it is still overpowered. Yeah. And then we have this card. Oh, this card, I don't know if it's overpowered. Okay, that is this card, which is seriously broken. Not necessarily overpowered, just broken. Because this card creates some really powerful effects. But it is so incredibly unstable and unpredictable. I think this is actually, if I ever do like top 10 most unpredictable cards in Hearthstone, then this one be on first place. Because this card is absolute embodiment of chaos. Because you never know what this card. This card can help you or your enemy. The point is, you don't know. You have no idea what happened. And even some cards which doing something to everyone on the board, even these cards are better than this because this card can do negative or positive effects. You just don't know. It is really, really risky even play this card, and I think it's really broken because of it. Because how insanely unpredictable and chaotic this card is. And then we have this card which is also pretty overpowered because it's at the end of your turn input minion from your deck in the battlefield. which by itself it's pretty powerful ability. But on top of that, this card have really high stats, which mean this card is really overpowered, disgustingly overpowered. Because technically, you can like pull like another 10 card from your deck. And if you like, obviously, downside of this, if you wanna be able to take advantage from this, then you don't place any Bottle Cry cards in your deck because if it's pulls some Bottle Cry card, then you have basically no benefit from it. You can pull another 10 times, so you can technically play 20 crystal cards. I mean, yeah, the chance this happen is small, but even if you pull like 5 crystal minion, it's still highly overpowered. Because based on law of probability, then chance your average card which you get if you deck is balanced is card which is in average about 5. So you get value equal 5 of the crystal for free in every single turn. And because how strong this card is, it's really unlikely it's died. Of course, unless you have some remove card or silence. And think about another thing, like can you imagine how insanely powerful this card can be if I integrate it in this deck? Because I have so many high cost cards here. So yeah, so I think this that basically covered all those cards, if I'm right. Which mean I'm done with the broken cards until a next expansion be released because I'm pretty sure there will be some broken cards as well. So I'm done for now, and after Blizzard release something new, then I definitely come back with this one. So that cover my broken cards for all gods. I think eventually, I don't want to promise anything, but I think I maybe can do like full let's play all adventures because why not? I already did some criticism, so I think it'd be nice if I can balance things to do some good stuff here. So yeah, this is something which came next time. Probably. I don't want to promise anything. Depends if I be in moods. We will see. I can eventually make this like a part of my inconsistent let's play, probably. So yeah. So I'm done for today and for some time with the Hearthstone as always. Thanks for your time and I will see you later.